What is up, everyone? My name is Deltleet, and today I'm going to be breaking down the absolute best loadout that I have run for dealing with the Illuminate faction in Helldivers 2. Now, the Illuminate are a little bit tricky compared to the other two factions, but once you get the hang of them, they really aren't too bad. The big thing you need to remember is you're going to be clearing a lot of chaff off the field. The Voteless, the zombie-type unit that runs around in hordes, absolutely can overwhelm you if you are not paying attention to them. And if you're focusing on taking out the more dangerous targets, it's very easy to get completely swamped in these guys and need to make a quick getaway or have to fight your way out of a tough situation. So, today I'm breaking down a loadout that will help you prevent from getting caught in these tough situations and, when you need to, make your getaway. So, starting out with the loadout for the armor, I'm going to use the EX-03 prototype armor, both the helmet and the armor. Now, this gives us a passive 95% resistance to electrical damage, which is very prevalent against the Illuminate. Now, against the other two factions, this armor didn't make a whole lot of sense, against the bots. They don't have any electrical type attacks. In fact, the only type of electrical damage that you would encounter in the field isn't from the enemy, but it's actually from your own team using things like the arc thrower or the blitzer. But against the Illuminate, there's actually multiple sources where you might encounter electrical damage. For instance, the Illuminate have their own Tesla towers that can be found in heavy encampments and around the Monolith objective on raise flag missions. The Observer unit in the Illuminate class also has an electrical-based attack, and the Harvester, the heavy unit for the Illuminate, if you get too close, will start to use electrical attacks to damage you in close quarters. So the EX-03 prototype armor, or really any of the armors in the cutting-edge premium war bond, will give you a significant edge because you can pretty much ignore all the electrical damage on the field. For my primary weapon, I'm running the LAS-16 Sickle. Now, this is the laser rifle that fires short burst-type laser bolts, and it is extremely effective against taking down the Voteless. The big advantage to having this energy-based weapon is that you don't have to worry so much about ammo, so long as you conserve your heat sinks and don't let the weapon overheat. It's a perfect weapon for dealing with hordes, and it's very effective against the Voteless. Now, it has no real damage to the Harvester, and it doesn't really do a whole lot against the Overseers themselves. It can still take one down if you concentrate your fire on it for a minute. But really, this is the tool that you're going to be using against the Voteless, which you're going to encounter in the largest numbers when you're fighting the Illuminate. Now, for my secondary, I take the GP31 grenade pistol. For the Illuminate, the grenade pistol is really more of a utilitarian tool than it is a primary or secondary weapon. So I'm not using this when I'm fighting, hordes of Voteless coming at me, although it is quite effective if you get a good cluster of Voteless with an Overseer, chuck the grenade pistol at it, and yeah, it's going to do the damage that you would expect it to do. But the real utility of the grenade pistol is on things like the dropships that have landed in their encampments. You take the sickle to spray down the shield, and then once the shield is down, pop a grenade pistol into the hatch and blow it up. You can do that very effectively while moving and maneuvering, and you can do that at a distance if you need to, if there's too many Voteless in the area. It's also very effective for taking out the power boxes on the cognitive disruptor towers, so it makes it for a fast and clean way to take those out, again, while not slowing down and staying on the move. Now, for my grenade selection, it is the only grenade that you will ever need against the Illuminate. It is the G13 Incendiary Impact Grenade. This thing is incredibly overpowered against the Illuminate. If you see a large cluster of Voteless walking around, pop one of these into the group, and that pretty much solves the problem without any further action required. Now, you can spray them down with your sickle after you pop the grenade, but if you want to lock down an area with fire damage to prevent Voteless from charging towards you, take out a group, give something for the Overseers to think about while you deal with other things, the G13 is the perfect grenade. It's also still effective against structures and can be used to take down encampments and dropships just the same as the grenade pistol. Now, as far as boosters go, I always bring the Vitality Enhancement. It gives you a little bit more tankiness when you're getting overwhelmed and overrun by the Voteless or getting shot by the Overseers. It helps prevent you getting one-shotted by the Overseers with the plasma staffs or sprayed down with the elevated Overseers' automatic plasma weapons. And in the event that you get nicked by the laser from the Harvesters, you might be able to survive taking a glancing shot to a limb with the Vitality Enhancement. Now, obviously, boosters are shared amongst the squad, so The vitality enhancement should be your top priority, but after that, bringing the stamina enhancement, the muscle enhancement, or the health pod optimization are all great choices to help supplement the gameplay. These 4 boosters are kind of the boilerplate, gotta have them during a mission boosters, so you really shouldn't be dropping with anything but these 4. Occasionally, it might make sense to bring like UAV recon if you want to have more like bird's eye view of the field, but really those 4, vitality, stamina, muscle, and space optimization, are all you need. Now on to stratagems. For my support weapon for this loadout, I take the MLS-4X Commando. This missile launcher is absolutely the best for Illuminate. You can argue with me, I don't really care. It's one, a ton of fun to use, which is really the biggest and most important factor for any decision you make in this game. But what it really does is fill the role of anti-tank against the Illuminate very effectively. If you're lucky and you get a shot off on the leg joint on the Harvester, it is a one-shot kill for a Harvester, which means you're packing 4 potential one-shot kills just in one stratagem cooldown, and it's got a super short 2-minute cooldown time, which is plenty of time between engagements with Harvesters so that you can keep it topped off and running. And if you are running out of Harvesters to shoot at, you can pop a missile into a group of Voteless or Overseers to do a little bit of splash damage and help take out larger groups of infantry. Now, the next 2 stratagems that I always bring for this loadout are the AXAR-23 Guard Dog and the AMG-43 Machine Gun Sentry. These 2 stratagems paired together make for an excellent crowd control solution against the Illuminate. The Guard Dog is absolutely phenomenal for taking on the Illuminate. For one thing, and probably my favorite thing about it, is that it pretty much deliberately seeks out headshots against the Voteless and is extremely effective at dropping Overseers. In fact, there have been several times playing this loadout where it has shot an Overseer as it comes around a corner, headshots the guy before I can even look and see what's happened, and it's already dead on the ground. And the MG-43 Machine Gun Sentry, it's not as effective as the Gatling Sentry, but what I like about it over the Gatling Sentry is that 1.5-minute cooldown time, meaning I can keep this thing deployed on the field. Pretty much any time I get in a pinch, every 90 seconds, I'm calling one down to spray down the street with machine gun fire and keep the Voteless off my back. For the red stratagems in this loadout, there's a lot of different ones you could take, and I'm sure they would be just as effective, and I'm sure there are going to be people in the comments who say that my choice for this is wrong and that I should be bringing this stratagem, not this stratagem, or whatever. And that's fine. There's actually a lot of different red stratagems that are very effective. You should pick whatever red stratagem you think is the most fun to use. But the red stratagem you're going to see me running against the Illuminate most often is the Eagle Napalm Airstrike. Now, this thing creates a wall of fire on the ground in front of you, which is perfect for cutting off streets and preventing the Voteless from getting to you, and it does a whack ton of damage on the initial drop. It pretty much will wipe out anything in the area, Overseers or Voteless. It doesn't quite have the stopping power to bring down an Overseer, but that's what we have the Commando for, so we don't need to waste another stratagem slot on anti-tank when we already have our anti-tank solution. If you don't like running the Napalm red stratagems for fear of team killing, the Eagle Airstrike, Eagle Strafing Run, Eagle Cluster Bombs, the Precision Strike, the Gatling Barrage are all effective at taking out large groups of small enemies, and for the Precision Strike, it's good on the Harvesters as well. But again, there's really something viscerally fun about a Napalm Airstrike. Now, let's move on to probably the more important portion of the video, which is explaining how you actually need to play to make this loadout effective. You can talk about the best armor, best weapon, best stratagem to take, but unless you know how to use it in the field, it's not going to be truly as effective as it could be. So the goal in my mind when I'm playing this loadout against the Illuminate is to kind of be the forward vanguard for the squad. So I'm roving off to take on side objectives, clear encampments, maybe push forward and start clearing out the Tesla towers around a heavy encampment or around a monolith while the rest of my squad comes in and mops up. The EX-03 prototype armor keeps you safe from the traps that the Illuminate has set in our cities, those Tesla towers, so you can pretty much walk with confidence and not have to worry about getting shot to death. And then your guard dog is literally watching your back and making sure that you don't get overrun. And in the event that you do start getting overrun and you're cut off from the rest of your team because you're pushing forward, we've got that sentry to fall back on. And in a last-ditch effort when things start getting overwhelmed, you've got that Napalm Airstrike that you can call in and totally reset the problem. Get rid of the guys in front of you, break contact, move away, reposition, and re-engage the vote list from there. Now, as far as how to open up your engagement, your first move when you see a group of enemy and they haven't spotted you yet, I always throw the G13 Impact Incendiary as my first move. So I see a group of voteless, maybe 1 or 2 overseers standing in the middle of them on a patrol, guarding a point, maybe at a point of interest. Throw that incendiary grenade down and let it start doing the work. Any voteless that run through the flames on the ground are immediately going to start taking burning damage, and they'll drop to fire relatively quickly. And that eliminates maybe 75% of the things you have to deal with in the first move. Now you can focus on either cleaning up the voteless that are left, or use your sickle to start breaking down the armor on those overseers and taking them out. Now, the whole time you're doing this, your guard dog is blasting away, getting headshot after headshot, and racking up your kill count very quickly. If you know you're going to be engaged with a lot of Illuminate all at once, you can go ahead and throw down that sentry beforehand, and I would recommend throwing it in an intersection inside the cities. Intersections give you multiple fields of fire, and usually what will happen is the voteless will move across blocks towards your position. So putting it on an intersection where you know any reinforcements or patrols are going to come means you're going to rack up a lot of kills as they walk past that sentry. As far as prioritizing your targets, you should always be trying to take the observers down first thing. If you see an observer, that is your high priority target. It's the only thing that can call in reinforcements, and so it has to be taken out, and it has to be taken out very quickly. There's not a whole lot of time between it spotting you and it calling in dropships, which will slow down your progress and force you to retreat or reevaluate. Now, once it comes time and you see a harvester in the field, the best thing you can do is engage it at long range. The sickle is pretty accurate and it has a scope, which means you can get long range shots, and all you're doing with the sickle is knocking down his shield, so it's really not that hard to shoot it from a distance. I'd recommend moving a couple of city blocks away, find a street where you've got a line of sight to it, drop its shield with the sickle, and then switch to the commando. Now, the commando is a laser-guided missile, which is very, very convenient because you can use that to make small course adjustments and keep the missile on target. Now, I said at the beginning of the video, but if you can get one missile to hit the inside of the upper portion of the leg where it's unarmored, that will take a harvester down in one shot. Now, if that first shot misses, you still got 3 more shots to rock with, and there's no reload time on those 3 shots. So you shoot the first one, maybe you hit the front and it takes out the shield generator, or it chips the armor off a leg, but it doesn't take it down, follow it up with a second shot. That one doesn't take it down, follow it up with a third. If you're not super confident on your aim, shoot 2 missiles right away out of the gate and see if that takes it down. It's a very effective tool and you can use it very quickly, and then once it's able to be called back in, you can call it in and pick it up at your leisure. You don't have to worry about reloading and being stationary with the commando. When you're coming up on encampments, the best thing you can do is drop a napalm early. Go ahead and use that Eagle napalm strike to clear out and either block off access to the encampment that you're engaging so that patrols can't get to you, or put it in the middle of the encampment to drop the shields. If you use it to block off access, then you've bought yourself plenty of time and you can start to work down the shields with the sickle and then clean it up with your grenade pistol. And if you decide to put it in the middle of the encampment, it'll knock down the shields for you, and then that's where the grenade pistol really starts to shine because you don't have to get inside the fire to get a clean shot on the hatches. You can just pop a grenade pistol into the mouth of one of those dropships from a safe distance and take it out. I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you did, please give this video a like and subscribe to the channel for more Helldivers 2 content. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Take care, y'all.